I love you. Welcome back to the Couch Potatoes. You know the drill by now. Plenty of room. Come on and have a seat. We love having you here. I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leon. This is a podcast about movies and TV. And you know what? You're here.
You're here.
It's called Green and Faceless on the Couch. That's what I was supposed to say.
We have a very special episode. Every now and then, every month, we have a potato pick.
Mm-hmm. This is more like the Palato pick, and it doesn't have to do with philosophy. It's just palate.
Oh, palate.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, everybody.
I'm not even going to pretend to understand that joke.
It's late.
Yeah, so the potato pick...
It's half a month late.
Oh, I see. It is coming pretty late. We've had quite a... we took a single day off for the new year. We took a lot more than that, but still, you don't need to know. Yeah. It's been a doozy of a time, guys. Like, 2025's starting off rocky for me, at least.
We were... I was very sick, and so was my wife to start off.
Yeah. And
then she got sick again, and I don't know if you guys know, but she has an autoimmune disorder. When she gets sick, it lasts a long time. But she's better now. We're both better now, and it's great. But we hadn't been sick for a long time, so it was a little scary for a minute, but we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. COVID came around, you made a deal with the devil.
Yeah, but it wasn't COVID, and people we know had COVID.
That's good.
So,
good it wasn't
at the very least,
Not
good it's good.
They had COVID.
No, it wasn't good. But
I
think they're better now as well, those people.
I've been having a good year. It's just been like, the
world's on fire.
3 great things will happen. Yeah, it's like three great things will happen, and then like 4 things out of my control will happen, and I'm just like, oh, it's so sad. There's nothing I can do to help, and like I feel bad about that. And then I'm very much an empath, especially when I get more estrogen in me than testosterone now that I'm transitioning and everything. And yeah, there's so much, like you'll hear a lot of sad things on the news or sad things happening to friends, and it's just like, oh man. And then I broke my toe.
You broke it?
It's my baby toe, but it's one of those kind of like hairline kind of things that it's just like, I don't, there's no need to fix it or anything. It'll be fine after like.
But isn't that like months. The Gorshin pleasure
breaking my toes?
Member?
I mean, some Gorshins are really into that, and it's like if that kind of stuff had happened, if it had happened in a pleasurable moment, that would have been great. If it hadn't happened with me just kicking my beloved bookshelf as I was walking to the bathroom in the dark. It was so painful. Oh, so painful. And then also today, very sad. David Lynch passed away. Beloved filmmaker. I loved him dearly. He had a lot of amazing and inspirational works. Twin Peaks. Of course, we haven't talked that on the show, but I think we've mentioned it before in our love for it. It's so weird and dreamy, not in the big dreamy way, but just dreamy. It's very, very so sad that he passed. It's really sad.
Yeah,
but what's not sad is the potato pig.
The potato pig isn't usually sad, and it definitely isn't this week.
No,
it is a Patreon inspired episode where they suggest, and then we let the public vote upon what movies we will be talking about for the potato pig. So if you're interested in suggesting movies, please go to patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Last episode, previously on Green and Faceless on the couch, I talked about having chipped my tooth. I got it fixed. but now it's a bit wider than it used to be. So I still have to get used to it.
So you don't whistle anymore.
No, I whistle beautifully. Oh,
I meant like just between your teeth, like.
Yeah, I'm not doing it as like I was last week, but now it's kind of a little lispy because I don't really know where to put my tongue.
I wish I could whistle on command with my S's.
Yeah. That's the energy of the show right now, and we need to be...
I'm running on some sad fumes. I'm not going to go into it, but it's been a crazy day for me.
Yeah. It's okay. We're going to talk about some childhood favorites. Yeah, the Goonies.
Yeah, well, one especially is a childhood favorite. The other one was in my childhood, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's not a favorite anymore. I'll say that.
It's not a favorite anymore, no. As a kid, I did enjoy it, but honestly, let's talk it first. Let's talk Tom and Huck first, huh?
Okay.
I know.
We might have even talked the Goonies before. I'm not sure.
We might have. I'm pretty sure we have.
I'll check after.
Who knows? Yeah. Once we're no longer in it. His name's Tom Sawyer. Mean Mean Stride. Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Yeah, the Home Improvement Kid. He's Tom Sawyer. And Tom and Huck.
I feel like that scanned really well, though. That was nice.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Mean Mean Stride. Oh my gosh. His ever beautiful companion here is Brad Renfro, who I believe is a member of the 27 Club. Sad to say. Nope. Didn't make it to the 27 Club. 25.
Wow.
Don't do heroin, kids.
No. I mean...
Sorry, Huck.
This is based off of The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. And I've never read it. Have you read it?
I have, many times.
Okay, then I'm going to be asking you some questions.
I'm not going to be helpful, but yep.
Oh. Mostly I want to know, how loyal is this to The Adventures of Tom Sawyer?
Story-wise, like with the beats, very loyal.
Okay,
there's a lot cut out. It's also still a short book, but I mean, it's like...
Sure.
From what I remember... Most of the story beats are accurate to Tom and Huck, or to the Tom Sawyer book.
The big problem I have with it is the villain. Is the villain the same?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Well, then I guess they did the book.
It's pretty upsetting.
Yeah. So what we're alluding to...
Hold on, I'll check.
Yeah, you check that, and I'll continue to describe what we're alluding to.
He is the villain.
The name of the villain is Native American Joe, but they don't use that term, and they don't use the other term. They use
a term more closely associated with cars.
Yeah. If you...
That's what it should be associated with.
Yes. Yes.
It's in a different spelling, of course.
Much different spelling. Yeah.
Much different.
Anyhow, you guys know what we're talking about, and we don't want to say it, and it's not cool.
No.
And I didn't like that the one obvious bad guy was the only Native American in the story. And that was his descriptor. That was his descriptor. Yeah. No, like, Joe is fine. Like, he's a product
fine, but at the same time, like,
the 19th century, so I get that. But
give him a villainous name, though. Like, I don't know, like, Chuck.
It should have just been Chuck Norris. That would be scary. And not racist. They did have Eric Schwig.
Estrada.
No. Eric Schwig.
Eric Schwig.
Schwig. Okay, thank you.
Or maybe Schwig. I don't know.
Schwig. I don't know.
He's a Nuvialic. And I am going to say this horribly wrong, and I'm so sorry, but it's a Canadian Native American tribe. Inuvialuq?
Yeah, that sounds more... I think that sounds better than the first one you said.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, everybody.
It's
dyslexia and reading things for the first time.
Right. It's not a good mix. No. Joe, we're just going to refer to him as Joe. Or Joe. Eric. Eric does a good job of making Joe very villainous. I'll say that. He is a no good person in character, but you can do that and not have them be a racial stereotype.
Right. Yeah, he's part of like a grave robbing trade. Like,
yes.
He's
working with this doctor who knows about something that's buried somewheres and has him
Dr. Jonas Robinson.
It's Dr. Jonas Robinson, as you said, played by William Newman. That doesn't matter so much because in a moment he shall die. Joe...
He gets stabbed.
Joe, once the thing is dug up that they were looking for, wants a bigger share of what was intended, and he decides to fight the doctor over it. And Muff Potter, who was also hired by the doctor and played by Mike McShane, who was in a lot of different things I remember watching.
And also,
I guess he was in Whose Line Is It Anyway? But
yeah, the British version, though.
Okay. Muff had a knife that Joe takes and stabs the doctor with. And that...
Muff has knife.
Muff has knife. Joe take knife. Doc die. After surviving trying to run away on the Mississippi River on a raft that children made, Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, who just saved his life and is one of his friends, they witnessed this murder. They swear that they're never going to tell anybody about it because it's too big for them. Too big. And also, Huck, I think, is worried about being blamed because his dad was a known criminal.
Yeah.
At least in the movie.
And you watch it as an adult and you're like, what in the fuck is wrong with you kids? Like, tell somebody. Like, God.
Yeah, but
as a kid, I understood it a lot more because it's like when you're a kid,
you're scared.
You're not thinking rationally about the big picture here.
No.
Like,
anyhow, Muff gets arrested, even though I think he probably reported it. Nobody believes that he didn't stab the doctor because it's his knife.
He's also like the local drunk.
And he is the local drunk, yeah. Yeah, they don't believe him that it was innocent Native American Joseph.
He's guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah. And anyhow, they're gonna hang him. Sawyer, Tom, that is, decides he's got to talk. And so he does. Yeah,
and everybody thought Tom was dead. So, because he kind of just disappeared.
Yeah, he went off to hang out with Huck for a little bit. And they,
But they were having a funeral for him and everything, and he was like listening in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I, honestly, as a kid, this gave me a bit of like an irrational complex because I always wanted to make sure that if I were to ever see my funeral, it was a good show. Which is the dumbest, like, most egotistical thing ever. But, like, just because of this movie, you know, it's like Tom gets to witness his own funeral and hear what the nice, sad things that people had to say about him. And I'm like, I want to make sure that when I watch my own funeral, I'm, like, not only a little teary-eyed, but I'm laughing.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
and the funeral ends with Tom falling through the rafters next to his own empty coffin. And, oops. Yeah. And his aunt, who is raising him, is like, "Oh, thank you, God." And I'm pretty sure, doesn't Rebecca, Becky Thatcher, played by Rachel Lee Cook, doesn't she punch him?
I think she hits
at
him.
that point. Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
I think so. But she definitely hits him earlier in the film when he proposes to her with a doorknob.
Yeah, that was great.
And I always remembered that. And that was he
moment.
just used it on girls to get kisses, and he accidentally let that slip, and she slapped him, and that was really funny. But also, like, at some point, we were reading the synopsis, right, as we do to prepare. It said Rebecca Becky Thatcher, Tom's love interest, and I'm like, yes, that's true. But why does this movie need a love interest? Like, what? They're children.
That's the other thing is like love interest at the time. Like, they're like 13 years old. It's not going to last. It's unlikely to last, let's say that.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember what happens to them in Huckleberry Finn.
Well, it was the 1800s, so they probably got married.
They probably started having kids. And then he started knowing Tom.
Yeah.
He still started proposing to all the girls late after that.
Yeah, they had 8 kids, and she went off to death unhappy.
So, what else should we say about this?
It's just, it's an okay plot, really. Film. Yeah, it's like, it's so, I don't know, like, it's obviously we're the wrong audience for it now. You know, it's like,
for sure.
As a kid, again,
it's also
a kid in the 90s watching this after watching Home Improvement for years, I ate this shit up. This was fun for me as a kid. But, like, watching it as an adult, I'm just like, oof. Oh, no. Like, it's just, it's not good acting, not good directing. Like, the kid performance, for the kid performance.
I mean, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, I think, delivers. But.
Yeah. He's a decent Tom Sawyer. So does Brad Renfro as Huck. I like his Huck.
Yeah. I think they could have done a whole lot more with the face painting scene. Fence painting scene.
Yeah. That's a fun moment, yeah.
Yeah. I just... that's like the only, like, cultural thing that's, like, in everything that I remember from Tom.
When he shows his wit and guile by creating an entire workforce of young children and peers to do his job for him.
It's good. It's good.
And all he had to do was make it fun.
Aunt Polly, I wanted to mention, was played by Amy Wright.
That's true.
Okay, so...
Thank you for that.
We talked about Tom and Huck, and... closing statements, did you... I mean, I'm sorry, you kind of gave a closing statement. Did you rate it?
Kind of, yeah. I don't recommend this movie unless you're like... I don't recommend it. There's a lot of racist overtones and everything. I give it 2 stars.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, I know that's just for its time, and of course it's adapting a novel of the 1800s.
Right.
So, like, obviously,
and
I'm not...
if that's what Mark Twain
that.
called him, and you're making an adaptation that's fairly true to the book, I get it. That was not really your choice. I think nowadays we would consider changing his name.
Easily.
Yeah. And also have to give him, a second and third dimension.
Yeah. And when he dies, he doesn't die because a kid holds a treasure chest over a cliff and he dies for it like a Scooby-Doo villain.
Yes, he does. He does go down the cliff. Very Disney death for a villain.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, you just got bested by a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So anyhow, I remember really liking this as a kid, but as an adult, it's just so-so. And I don't know that I would want my kids to watch it because of the negative portrayal of a Native American man.
Yeah. And I definitely don't want them to go around starting to say those words.
Yes. No, we do not. Especially like, hey, he looks like Native American Joe over there. And that would be terrible. I would cry.
Yeah. Oh my god, that reminds me of sitting in the hospital with my grandma, and it's like this one would walk by, and she's like, my grandma had no sense of volume at all, and she would just lean over and be like, that woman's really fat. We're just like, Grandma, no.
Like, she didn't even put it in different terms that...
No. Yeah, she was a lovely woman.
My mom is louder than she thinks she is. And she'll lean over to me sometimes and be like, I'm not that big, am I? And I'll have to be, no, Mom, no.
Oh, she's a wonderful one. Let's take a quick soda pop break before we hop into the Goonies. I love you.
Well, no, I'm just dyslexic, so I skip the, the one page that says the different titles in order.
That's what I'm saying. You like to read out of order on accident.
I do, apparently. I've done it to several.
I know. I've made fun of you for years about it because I keep finding out more and more series that you've done it to. It's impressive.
But I think I got 2 paragraphs in before I was like, they are not describing this character. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's the 4th fucking book. And I go and I pick up the first one and I can't get into it because I had already gotten into the humor of the 4th one. And
see, that's the thing though. Is I'm gonna reread them soon, but I remember reading the Hitchhiker's Guide series, and the first one was just like perfection. I was just like, oh my god, this is so funny and like everything I need. And then as it just kept going on, it just became dumber and dumber, and like in regards to like way too self-obsessed. And I was just like, okay, I can't. But I want to give it another try because that was when I was very young. And now that I'm older and more interested in dry British humor.
Yeah. I think I would really enjoy it too. Maybe I should pick it up. He's definitely more on the Monty Python scale of British humor.
God, I love them. All right. The Goonies,
Welcome
we're
back.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
The Goonies,
so we're
Baby
talking
Thanos, everybody is here. We got Baby Thanos, we got Sam, we got
Sam
the guy from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That's right.
Corey Feldman, he's in it too.
Ray Feldman?
Corey.
Is that what you say?
Corey
Feldman. I heard Roy. I don't know what the last name. I heard, but it was not Feldman. Anyhow, he plays the Mouth, who probably was my favorite character growing up. But
honestly, maybe. Actually, no. Data was my favorite.
I did really like Data too, and
I love Data.
I kind of identified with Chunk. But anyhow,
I definitely, yeah. I've always felt, obviously, trans female, hi. I've always felt out of place in my body, and I felt like Chunk was a very, like, he was okay with his body.
Yes.
Yeah. Come on, guys, don't make me do it again.
Don't make me do it. But, like, I don't necessarily like that everything about him was that, his weight. I do like that he was clumsy. Like he's way clumsier than I remembered. So
I
Jeff
love that he
Cohen
falls in love with Sloth.
Yeah, I do too. See, this movie teaches you sympathy as well. It's nice.
Yeah.
Even though they're mean to their friend Chuck.
I'm going to check our list just to see if we've done this before.
Okay.
Because if we have, then we don't need to go into synopsis, right?
That's true. But I do want to point out that Jeff Cohen plays Chunk, and his name is Lawrence Cohen. And I wonder how they made that happen.
Where did I keep this list at?
Another thing about the Mouth that I didn't quite get as a kid, because once again, dyslexic, he knows Spanish, and I just assumed that he was translating, something mean to this housekeeper that Mrs. Walsh wanted him to translate for. I just kind of figured he was putting an extra edge on it because her response to it isn't good. She's scared. But as a kid, I didn't read the subtitles because I didn't. And as an adult, it's all Scarface shit, and it's hilarious. But it's also like
done this
the most evil thing a child can do.
Oh my god, yeah.
He does some really bad shit. He's got ADHD for sure. So we have talked this film.
We did.
It is
as
a classic.
Genre Smackdown against The Sandlot.
Okay, that's a good pick. And I think this was a good pick together with Tom and Huck, though, because it is also about treasure hunting.
They're movies aimed towards children, specifically about the adventure of a treasure hunt, with more deep undertones behind that journey. Sure.
Yes. There's a lot of lessons in Tom Sawyer that you're supposed to glean. But in this, it's all about camaraderie and being from a place and protecting that place. And I do really like that about the Goonies.
And protecting your own values.
Yes. Not conforming. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, Baby Thanos plays Brandon or Brand Walsh, and Samwise Gamgee plays Mikey Walsh, his younger asthmatic brother. But he's the leader of the group.
Who would have thought Thanos and Samwise are siblings? Like, it's beautiful.
Yeah, story. And it's actually really good. Like, they're got really, I think, good chemistry for brother and brother. If they do a Goonies 2, rather, that...
Oh my god, they bring all the Goonies back?
Yeah, that would be really fun. What if they decide to go after the shit?
Corey Feldman's still alive. I don't know why I said it like that.
Yeah! I mean... Maybe because the other Corey isn't. Maybe that's why you said that.
Maybe. Oh my god, I forgot what Chunk looks like now.
You know, with Ki Huy Kwan getting really big again, I think that it will be great. He plays Richard Wang, but he goes by Data. And I love Data, like you said earlier. And
we'll leave that
I love all the kids. 80s, they're really great. And we were talking earlier about we both had more of a crush on Stephanie than we did on female lead. I don't remember. Andy. It's Andy.
Becky was in the last one.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. Andy's played by Carrie Green. Steph's played by Martha Plimpton.
Yes. Yeah, they face the Fratellis. It's a classic story of a chase against crooks to find a treasure. And they face a bunch of booty traps. And
booty traps.
They say a lot of things wrong because Mikey and his mom both do it. And I never noticed that the mom did it. And I thought that was really cute. Watching it as an adult. I think this movie, if we can go to closing statements.
Oh, yeah.
I think this movie really does hold up. And it's the second time we watched it for the show. I don't know what we rated it then, but I give it a 4.5. It still holds up. There are some things that Mouth says that are definitely not appropriate, and poking fun at fat people isn't great. But they love each other.
If you look at Chunk nowadays, Jeff Cohen, pretty good looking dude. He's an attorney. He's no longer an actor. He retired from the acting business, but they can get him back for Goonies too, I imagine. I mean,
he probably had to become an attorney to, settle, to, be able to get through all of the lawsuits for all the property damage and stuff he did because he's just so clumsy. Just dropping his ice cream everywhere. I do love that he's clumsy. That's a very endearing part of it. It's
lovely. No,
it's a perfect film. Sloth, he loves Sloth.
Yeah, what was John Matazook? Is he football or is he WWE? I can't remember. Let me look it up.
NFL.
Football.
Twos was his nickname.
America's dumbest sport. There, I said it.
Sloth is definitely a really mean nickname that the Fratellis gave him. He's one of the Fratelli brothers.
Yeah.
And his real name is Lotney.
Oof.
But Sloth is definitely a nickname that they gave him that he became endeared to because it's the only thing they called him.
Yeah. Sloth love Chunk, too. I still shout that inanely at random people. I don't have to know them. I'll shout it at them. Sometimes they deserve it. Sometimes it's what they need to hear. You know? Sometimes they're going through a sad thing and just some random psychopath yelling, Sloth love Chunk! And they're just like, yeah. Sloth does love Chunk.
Yeah.
Man. You're right.
Sloth does love Chunk. And I should love Chunk, too.
That. It's a beautiful movie. It's a 5-star film. It's one of my favorites. I like that it's paired with Tom and Huck because it's a perfect example. I get tired of people saying, you know, you shouldn't be talking about a kid's movie. It's not made for you. And I'm like, bitch, please. You can have a movie made for kids. That's for adults too. The Goonies is a perfect example of that.
Exactly.
You watch it as an adult. You love it just as much as when you watched it as a kid. It's enjoyable. Yeah. It has good value. It's got good acting from everybody. Richard Donner is an amazing director. The Exorcist, Superman.
This movie in particular, though, has a bit of a Spielberg feel. An early Spielberg feel, anyways.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I said The Exorcist. I meant The Omen. I was going to say, I knew immediately when I said Exorcist, I was like, no, he didn't do The Exorcist. No. But still, he's a fucking phenomenal director, and it shows here. You know, he gets these great performances from an amazing cast that would all go on to have good roles. Yeah. Good careers, that is.
Property damage lawyer.
Exactly. He can't be hurting. He's probably making more money than some actors.
Yeah, he probably is.
God, I hope he is. I hope you are, Jeff Cohen. And if not, I just hope you're happy. That's what really matters in life.
Yeah. That's right.
Hopefully you're not in LA. Our thoughts go out to you all out in LA. If anybody here
yes,
out there.
Yeah, I did want to bring that up. My heart goes out to everyone out there who has lost everything or even just something, or knows somebody who lost something. It's terrible.
And I wish I could help.
And I hope you guys get it under control. And I wish there was something we could do. But you know what? There is something we can do. For this month and maybe next month, whatever it takes to help them through, we could donate, let's say 50% of what we make from our Patreon page.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you want to help out people suffering from the fire in LA, one way you can do that is go down to patreon.com/screenandfaceless. And I'm sure if you want to donate directly to them, there's plenty of opportunities to do that.
I also highly recommend that over donating to us.
Yes.
If you don't have, if you enjoy what you hear, obviously we want you to subscribe, but
yes,
it's more important to help them out.
Of course.
So please go donate if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's really, really sad what's going on out there.
It is.
But in happier news, this has been the potato pick. I think it's very obvious the Goonies wins.
Yes, Goonies wins.
I mean, it's so much better. 5-star film over a 2-star film, please. Any day.
Right. And right here, just editing note, I'm going to put in what we said about it in the last episode, because I usually do that. Closing statements on the Goonies. I really enjoy this movie, despite some of the problems that we've mentioned. And honestly, there's not that many of them. I think the intentions of the people making this film were all good. They were trying to be slightly inclusive. And, for the time, I think it's a great movie that people can go back to and still just freaking enjoy and not feel like, oh, why does all of my childhood memories suck?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I agree with you. This is it's a very warm-hearted, kind of feel-good film for the boys. I mean, and the girls too.
Yeah.
Anybody can take enjoyment from this. It's very much aimed towards younger boys, though, I would say.
Right. While Andy and Steph are less focused on, I still think their characters have some merit. Their skills are used. They're not just there to be looked at.
Yeah, the Goonies as a whole literally could not have found the treasure without either of their skills.
Each one of them. Yeah. Each one of them were necessary.
Yeah. So it's like they definitely use everyone, but that's the only problem. And it's not even a problem, honestly. It's just I see where you're coming from with Sloth, and I agree with you that they shouldn't have introduced him like that at first. But even as a kid, I always thought Sloth was just warm-hearted, cuddly bear. And
he is.
And the only reason I thought that though is as a kid, the first time you see him is through the Fratellis almost. Like you're seeing it through the eyes of the kids, but you're seeing how the Fratellis are treating this person. And like the kids are scared only because he's in shadow, and like, once he turns around, they see the deformity, then they're just like, oh God.
Making loud noises, protesting what his family is doing to him.
But like the first time you see him, he's being abused by the Fratelli, so it's like it almost immediately elicits this sympathy where you're just like, man, I hate these Fratelli. They're such assholes.
As an adult, I can totally agree with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can see how a kid can miss it. That's how I felt as a kid too. I hated the Fratellis as a kid. Like they were just dicks, So my only real issue was with the use of of Andy and Steph. It's not even an issue again, but like they are really just kind of there for romantic interests for most of the movie. Yeah. They have their part, but Andy's like in between two different, she's got this jock guy who is driving her around at the beginning. But then at the same time, there's Bran. Bran is a very handsome and, makes her laugh, very kind guy. And then Steph, she really doesn't have any kind of like romantic involvement until the implicit like hints at the end, and I just, as an adult, I just don't get it. Like, why do they do that? It's just weird.
There's the scene between her and Steph, if I can recall the lines. He says something really nice to her, and she says, maybe you are a good kid, if it wasn't just for your mouth. And he said, well, maybe you're kind of pretty if it wasn't for your face. I'm sorry. And then immediately gives her a hug.
It's good. I like it. I do like it. Like, that's the thing, is like, even though it's like, even though I say it's an issue, it is the most mild of issues. Like, this movie gets a 4 stars. I fucking love it. Like, it's one of my favorite childhood films. And then watching it as an adult, watching how well pieced together and paced this whole film is, like, from a technical standpoint, mad fucking props. Like, this is a classic fucking 80s movie. It's great. Go watch it.
Amen. Goonies never say die.
Goonies never say die, damn it.
Yeah.
God, this movie sucked. I hate it so much.
I hate the Goonies so much. Sandlot all the way.
I hope Past Me enjoyed it as much. And if you hear Past Me say 4 stars, that's because Past Me used to rate on a Roger Ebert scale, which was a 4-star scale. And I still love that scale. But once I started redoing my blog, it only offered me a 5-star scale. And I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna adopt a scale. Makes more sense. 5 stars, USA.
Yeah. But, that just means that those 1-star movies are even worse than...
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if I gave Goonies a 4 stars, that holds...
That's the top. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that holds to my 5-star here. I love it. It's a perfect film. I hope I said that in the past. Oh, good God. I'm the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leon. Safe travels and good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of FictionWorks 19. Are you a fan of the show? Feel free to contact us at greenandfacelessfans@gmail.com or visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, or rate us on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.